So with that, I will hand over to Carlos.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm doing the opening, and I'm just glad I'm not making this meeting late. I'm usually running late, but not today. I'm the division head for genetics here at Lurie Children's, and I'm also the medical director for our newly established gene therapy program, and a professor in Northwestern. So a common question I ask is often to share a patient about a patient story that shaped my career. And I feel that always is a difficult question to answer because definitely I'm here because what I do for my patients. But SKS, Smith-Kingsmore Syndrome, really holds a special place for me. And it's because all of you here today. My first patient that I met was Jack, and Jack and his family really showed me how much passion and how much help they wanted to do for their community, even from day one. He was referred by one of my colleagues who has been trying to retire for several years, Betty Shorey. It's hard to retire as a geneticist because there are very few geneticists. So I have my daughter and her friend Evelyn here, so just trying to convince them into healthcare and science. But I'm being here from the start. So we have our first meeting in Cincinnati, where I used to work, and many of you were there, so it's really nice to see you all growing and reconnecting, and some doing well, some having challenges, but that's the reason why we're here together. I was excited to see the picture. I feel like we have more people this time, so it's definitely when we were 10, 15 families in Cincinnati at our first meeting. I believe this time is 26 or 27 families, but overall worldwide is about 300 families with the diagnosis of Smith-Kingsmore Syndrome. So definitely as a community, we're making a lot of progress. I also want to highlight, so I moved to Chicago, and we have been busy here in Chicago because we want to be able to provide solutions to families. We have been growing our program. So in the last 5 years, we went from a team of about 40 people to over 90. And we also created 2 training programs in medical genetics. There was no training program in Chicagoland. So that's really important because we need to figure out the next generation of physicians that do genetics. We reduce our waiting list, but as we reduce it, other programs have closed, and genetic testing is being ordered a lot more. So we actually, prior back in the same place, we now probably have a longer waiting list. But that's a good problem to have. That means I need to hire more people and train more people to be able to get to all of you. I like this little graph, the BC and AC, I call it before Carlos and after Carlos. And it's just how I like to picture everything I do. I like to address the problem and then expand it. And then that creates other kind of problems, but it's all good kind of problems, And then I have a couple of partners here, Dr. Shannon Heyman, who's in the picture there with me. We're trying to bring in-house long-read sequencing just to facilitate diagnosis to every child that comes to care here at Lurie Children's. And we have this aspirational goal to create a center for genetic surgery here at Lurie Children's. And we have support from the community, the Edwards family, who endowed our division, are really good partners, and we see this as the future for our patients. I like to have fun when I can, so drinking a sangria. And also, I already said my daughter was here. No pressure, Emma, she usually doesn't come to my meetings, so I just had to take advantage of this, Special thank you to Caroline Rasky. Where is Caroline? So the reason this meeting happens is because she's here, It's not because of me, So I think we should definitely recognize her and all that she has done. And not consider myself very successful, but I'm successful because I surround from people that actually can do the job, And she has been a tremendous advocate for this group, and has published and is doing a lot of good things for the community. All right, so I was asked to run short, and I realized I'm probably already at 10 minutes, But I think this is really important. So we learn from you as much as you learn from us, yeah? And having these events really allow us to know each other. So yesterday I met new families, Isaac, Francisco, Mateo, Jack, Weston, and I reconnected with Luis. It's really exciting for me to meet new families, new patients, new challenges, new questions, and there's really a lot that frame what we do as a researcher, but also tell us what do we need to understand in order to develop a treatment in the future. And today's lectures, you're going to see a lot of those developments and a lot of those plans coming together. I think you guys got a copy of our gene reviews. So we did this effort to really facilitate you talking to your physicians about what to do a diagnosis, what to do a follow-up of what's published, what we feel maybe is relevant to the condition, and maybe some areas that we need more research in order to have recommendations. So this is a really great resource, and I believe you guys got a copy. This is available online, it's free. Any physician can access this in any place in the world. Now, every patient with SKS is different, yeah? And that's a challenge, yeah? But it's also a reality. And that also lead us to try to individualize everyone's care, yeah? So this is really important, but just highlight the diversity and prevalence of symptoms across the condition. Now, why I think this moment is different than 5-7 years ago when we started meeting, I believe we understand a little bit, we understand more the condition. There's more drugs that target the pathway. We really started thinking about precision medicine. I'm gonna go a little fast on this, yeah. The role of the community, so you guys have done a tremendous effort to get together. You start a patient registry. There's a natural history study effort going on. We're learning about more genotype, phenotype correlations, depending on where the genetic variant is located. So there's a lot that we have learned, but we're not there yet, yeah? So is there a clinical trial for Smith-Kingsmore Syndrome? No. We have off-label use of mTOR inhibitors, yes, for selected patients, yeah? We still don't know the right dose, so we have some ideas, but we're working on optimizing what we recommend. And you're also gonna see the drug repurposing efforts, which are very exciting in the pathway, and hopefully later on other approaches. But also want to highlight, not every patient responds to every treatment. So we have responders and non-responders. This is not unique to Smith-Kingsmore syndrome, but it's a reality when we plan and try to bring treatments into clinic. So basically the job is never done, even though if you find something that may help, we're still looking for answers for every single patient. We need to develop clinical endpoints. So we know more about the behaviors, but we need to learn more. Seizures, sleep patterns, hyperphagia. At the Medical Scientific Committee, we were talking about the use of wearables and devices. So there was going to be more on that, and we hope that help us capture more data that will be relevant for treatment development. And a question many families asked me yesterday, is gene therapy here? It is here, but it's not yet for SKS. And there's a lot of challenges because we still need to, we have models, yeah? So Andrew and John and others have developed models of SKS. And now we can start understanding better the cellular, the brain function, the organs, yeah? But we need to learn a little bit more before we can move with gene therapy. It's a gain of function variant, so it's not necessarily replacing the gene. But technically, we could preclinically start thinking about how we can silence that gene that is overactive. So there's a technology called antisense oligonucleotides. There are many of those coming to clinic. There's CRISPR editing, but still delivering CRISPR into the brain is a challenge. And safety is do not harm is our main goal. So we definitely need to advance more on this, yeah? This is just an explanation of how antisense oligonucleotides work. It's probably a little simplistic, but if you think the gene is the speaker that has the code, the RNA is the message, it's like the music. And since it's overactive, the music is really loud. And what we want to do with this ASOs is potentially turn down the volume, yeah? And then there's a way for us to kind of reduce the activity of those genes. But that's future thinking, and I feel we can get there. Now, where to find reliable information? So the foundation website is probably your best bet. clinicaltrials.org. If you're thinking about a treatment, that will be the place that is going to be posted. It will have updates. It will tell you who's the sponsor. Right now, there's no intervention trials. The only information is about the registry that we initiated in Cincinnati, and Lindsay, who is here, has to continue in partnership with Darcy Kruger. And then I mentioned already the gene reviews. Yeah? So what's coming next? This only grows because of you, so every patient counts. So if you can participate in the registry, we're gonna keep learning. There's an effort to start a neurocognitive study, and I think Aaron and Darcy will update us later when they're ready to share steps on that. And mTOR modulation, we wanna make sure that if families are taking mTOR inhibitors, that we have a way to collect information to know if it's helping or not. This is basically means that every family is basically an N of one study, because every decision is very personal and is very much to the family and the child and or the adult needs. Yeah. I mentioned about the future therapies. We're thinking about how we can move the needle on that. And then also there's a lot of changes in terms of, there's a picture of baby KJ that is really popular, first baby that undergo gene editing for a condition that affects his liver, for his liver to actually make the enzyme he's missing, and he is doing quite well. So the technology is here, but also we had to change all the regulatory landscape to make sure that maybe we start thinking about different about genetic medicines, not as a medication, but maybe as a procedure, like a surgery or something like that. But this is what it will allow us to scale these type of therapies into patients. And I went 2 minutes over. Sorry, Darcy.